Hi everyone, welcome to Devcast Tutorials. This is Kaustav and today we are going to have a look at hash sets in Java. Okay, so hash sets play a very major role in Java. When you're trying to, keep some data authentic, then this hash sets come into use. We're going to have a look at how that actually happens. So here we have a simple Java program. We are going to have a look at it through a simple Java program first, and then we will be tackling a real life situation which is going to be about e-commerce program. It's going to be a short program, but it will show you a lot of stuffs about hash sets. Okay, and how you can use hash sets to actually tackle real life situations. But now at the moment, let's first understand the concept of what hash set is and why it is being used. So first of all, here I'm going to create a hash set object. Hash set, for example, let's keep let's keep it to string, and ht is equal to new hash set. So it has not been imported, we have got to import it. Okay, that's wrong. It should be in camel case. Let me do one thing. I'll have to import everything. Java dot util dot start. Okay, and okay, great one. So we have created a new hash set again. This one should be a camel case. Okay, so now if I go on adding, for adding stuffs to hash set, you would need to use the dot add method. Like any other collections, dot add and dot remove methods also exist with respect to hash sets. Okay, so I'm going to add things like for example my name Samir, uh, Akash, and say for example Sri. So I have added these four strings into hash set. Now let's have print this out. So now if I print this out, I'll be able to see. Let's see the results first of all. So first of all, you will be able to see that they have been arranged in this way. Okay, but the thing is that if I now try to add another core stuff to it, for example, if I add another core stuff to it, like, or say if I add another 3 to it. Okay, uh, now if I try to print it, so you will be able to see there is only one 3, so it ignores duplicate values. Okay, hash sets are basically used so that you keep the values authentic, because in order to compare things, you need, in the real world you need some authentic data. You do not need duplicate data. Okay, so hash sets actually helps you do that. So when you are not trying to have any duplicate values, even if you input duplicate values, it would not be accepted by hash sets. Okay, so that's the thing. Another concept that you would need to understand is about hash code and source. Okay, so for example, if I, as you can see, these are the two things that are pretty much the same. If I let me comment this out. Okay, let me use a class in this case. Class would be a better way in helping you understand this thing. For example, if I create a class of say people, okay, if I create a class of say people and I have a name to it, assign a name to it, let me create a constructor also for people, and this should be nothing. So for that, and let's accept a string name, and then what we are going to do is this dot name is equal to name, and let me get rid of these things, and let's now keep it as, let's now accept this particular object as people, and we're going to create a people class over here. People p1 is equal to new p1, I mean new people, and these people are going to have some names. Let's name them host stuff, and let's name them another as host stuff. Let's name another object as host stuff. Okay, so two objects pretty much have the same name. Two people objects have pretty much the same name. It's not just pretty much the same name, it's the same name actually. So now if I try to compare this by doing this p1 is equal to p2. Okay, so let's see what the result turns out to be. uh, you will be able to see that it's false. Okay, it returns false. Even if I come over here, since these are strings, if I try to say dot equals p2, and if I try to run it now, I'll be able to see that it still returns false. Now how can I bypass this particular situation? Because you know p1, the value in p1 is actually similar to value p2. If there is a situation in the future where I would have to compare these two values and get a true boolean value from it, then that would be a difficult thing to do. Because you know why this is happening. This is simply happening because p1 and p2 are going to show me memory locations only. The name of the object, or the way in the name of the object is stored in the system along with its memory location, that's what it's going to show. It is not actually having a string inside it, and that's the reason when I'm comparing it, it is returning false. For example, if I run this, you will be able to see that it's just a object, and along with the memory location where this particular object is being stored. So that's how it is. But if the situation so arises where I would have to compare two objects and I must get a value as true if they are the same, then this would be a very difficult situation to deal with. Now Java already, Eclipse already provides you with a code snippet that you can use right away, so that whenever you are dealing with objects with the same values, they return true and not false, or they do not compare memory locations, and they compare their types. Okay, and then return the value. So for that purpose you would have to go to the source, and just down below you will be able to see that there is an option, generate hash code and equals. You would just have to go inside the class and just go to source, and then click on this hash code and equals. So it will ask upon what you want to create hash code and equals. So if you generate this, what will happen is this, that your equals dot equals is going to get overridden. Okay, so it is going to get overridden, and their values are not going to get compared as per the memory locations but with respect to their types. So now if I go to p1 dot equals p2, you will be able to see that it is going to return true now. So it is going to return true. It is simply because of this hash code and equals. Okay, it has overridden the equals formula, I mean the equals method, and also it has overridden the hash code. Okay, so that's what is pretty much there with respect to tackling simple situations. Now let's deal with a difficult situation. For that I have already a task over here, which is about an e-commerce system. This e-commerce system is going to be a simple and short e-commerce system, but in far more complicated systems the things are going to be far more complicated than this. But obviously, since we are going to practice it, this particular problem I think is more than enough for you to understand the practical application of hash sets in critical situations. Okay, so here we have a class which is of a customer class that we need to create, and it is supposed to have some properties like customer ID, name, email, and address. Then we are required to create a order class also, which is going to have a order ID and uh, customer ID, order date, and order details. And we are required to implement hash code and equals methods based on customer ID and order ID, and we are supposed to operate and perform these operations. Okay, so let's see how we are going to deal with this particular situation over here. So for that purpose, like this we will have to create a new customer. So and so it says actually. So now let's get rid of this, and going to create it, name this class as a new class customer, and get rid of this. Okay, class customer, and we are going to have another class which is class order, and we are going to have certain things like string. Okay, so what do we need over here? We need to create customer ID, name, email, and address. Okay, string customer. Methods based on customer ID and order ID respectively. We will see about that later if we even need hash code and equals over here at all. And see, wherever hash code and uh, and equals is required, you can put them, you can put those snippets. But wherever it is not required, if it is not required, don't use it. Okay, so if it is required in this case, I will be using it. If it is not required in this case, I won't be using it. But in order to compare the IDs, I presume it will be required. Okay, but let's see with the program. Add a method to place a new order, add a method to add a new customer. So now we have to deal with hash sets over here. Now this hash set is supposed to take in two values particularly. One is going to be the customer, we are going to create these two hash sets over here. And order, it's going to take these two particular objects inside it. So this, let's just name it okay, CT and OT. CT and OT. Okay. Now whatever I will enter as customers, let's just see how it places things. Okay. First of all, let's create an object with respect to customer for placing the customer order. Now it's going to require, what is it going to require? ID. Suppose the ID is 001, and then we have name, email and address. Name is my name. Email is going to be like ab21@gmail.com, and address is something like Kolkata, West Bengal. Okay. And let's just add it. Let's add two customers. Okay, just one or two customers. This is going to be order 002. It has been placed by Samir, and this is going to be Sam. Uh, Sam 2022 gmail.com, and it's also from Kolkata, India. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this object ct.add. I can either create these objects over here of hash sets, or I can separately create a class and where I can tackle these particular things, but I'm not creating a separate class for that. I'm just doing it over here. Okay, let's just add C1 and C2. Let's just first add the customers C2, and let's just see what the hash sets print. Sys out, what does it have? Let me see. If I run this now, let me see. Okay, uh, it prints the objects. And why does it print the object? Because I haven't uh, you know used any getters and setters over here, because I would have to do it. Because if I accept an object, the and I call upon the array of that particular object, or any or in any way, if I call the object, it's just going to return the memory location of that particular object and nothing more than that. And I will have to, in order to return a name or something else, I will have to get it from that particular object. For that purpose, I'll have to create a getter method over here. So public string, I must return a string of names, suppose like get name. Okay, so return, this is going to return this dot what is it, name. It's going to return that. So if I want to print this, I will have to use a for each loop. So let's use a for each loop for ct. It's not name it ct. Okay, for string c in ct. Okay. C dot get. Actually, this is not going to work because it's in the form of an object. So customer C in city, C dot get name. As you can see, now we have this get name. So if I can use the for each loop and get all the names from that particular object. So as you can see, now they have been arranged in this way. But why has it been arranged in this way? Why Samir is just went up when I have entered it after that? When I have created this object after the Kaustav object, why did it happen? So it simply happened because hash sets actually work on the hash map principles, and in hash map, things are not arranged in an orderly fashion. So mostly you won't get the hash sets. If you print a hash set, you won't get it in an orderly fashion. You will get it in an unorderly fashion only. The facility with the hash set, I have said already, is to authenticate a data. Okay, so that duplicates do not enter a particular array. Okay, so that's the objective for using a hash set. Now we have got the names. For that, I think we have to use a separate method. Okay, so what do we need to do? Add a method to add a new customer, add a method to remove a customer by their customer ID, add a method to place a new order. You know what? Let's do just one thing over here. Do just one thing over here. Let's not use the hash sets over here. Let's keep them clean. Okay, and we are going to keep them as objects or classes. We will need to create a class over here. Class, what should we name this? Customer manager. Okay, so this is going to be customer manager. Here we are going to take this, copy this from here and place it over here. So okay, so now it's going to accept something like public void add customer. uh, customer. I forgot to add the void keyword over here, and this is going to accept customer as customer. Okay, and then what it's going to do is it's going to add this customer. So ct dot add a customer. Okay, this add customer method is going to perform this particular function. Okay, then what other functions this particular class should perform? It is supposed to remove a customer by their customer ID. Okay, so it is supposed to remove a class by its customer ID as well. Public void remove customer by its custom ID. So for getting the customer ID, we will have to do one thing, we have to get the customer ID from here. Public string, public int. This is supposed to return int get ID. We need to get the ID. Okay, it's customer ID. Right. So now we will get the customer ID over here. At ct dot remove customer dot uh, get ID. Where is it here? There we go. Or we simply can get the ID over here. Let's just see. First ID. Yeah, So we can get that over here. And the next thing that we can do is add a method to place a new order. First, let's see how this is working. Okay, how the customer manager is working. For that purpose, we will have to create a new customer class, customer manager class over, I mean customer manager object over here, like customer manager m1 c1 is equal to new customer manager. Right, now it's not going to ask for anything. So c1 dot, okay, so it is suppose c1 is equal to new customer, and duplicate local variable. Okay, so this is something cm1. So we are going to come over here and say cm1 dot add customer c1 and c2. So we are going to add two customers over here, which is c1 and c2. Now let's just see now what the hash set prints. Okay, sys out. Okay, for that purpose also I'll have to list the customers now, and for that purpose I'll have to create another method over here, like list customer, though it's not there, but in this case I'll have to use it because in order to see how many customers exist, I'll have to see that with the help of this thing. So I'm going to run a for each loop on this and say for um, customer C in city, what I will do is I will say sys out. I'm not going to return anything over here. C dot get name. Okay, simply this I'm going to do, and then I'm going to run this, like cm1 dot list customers. Okay, I do not need to accept this. If I don't accept this, there will be a problem, so let's not accept that. Let's just say customer c is equal to city. Okay, now let's just run this. So as you can see, I have it. Okay, so I have it right now. uh, we have created two of these methods already. Now it's time to tackle the order. Okay, add a method to place a new order, add a method to find an order by its order ID, and then add a method to list all orders for a specific customer. So let's do that. So for that purpose, I'm going to create another class which is going to be about order placement, and this particular class shall have similar kind of methods, which is to add an order, and it's going to have this particular hash set. Okay, so ot dot, okay, public, but let me give a gap of this thing, public void add order, using that place order. Okay, so let's name it as place order. Place order. Okay, place order. What it's going to do, it's going to accept an object over here, like order, and what it's going to do is ot dot add order. Okay, so our place order method is done. Now we will have to look at how to find an order by its order id. So we will need to find an order by its order id. So what we will have to do in this case is we'll have to first create a method for that. Public find, public void find order id, order id. So find order id, find order by order id, find an order by its order id. Okay, so the order is going to be in the order details, right? So it's going to be odt. Okay, so how we are going to find it? So first of all I will have to get a, I have to set some getters over here, like public method, public void, and this is going to be about get order details, order details, details, and then get order details. So why should it be returning public void? It should be returning string. Yeah. Okay, so return this dot order details. Gosh, this dot order details, order details. Okay, done. So now the order details we will get, and what we are supposed to find it by id. Okay, if we are supposed to get the id, by the way, int id oid. So if oid, okay, so for that purpose I will need to, so I will need to find order by order id. So I'll need to use a equal over here. Over here I will need to use a equal, because in that case I'll have to compare the order with the order id itself. So here I'll need to use a uh, hash code and equals and generate it upon all the things. For order O in order emotive, what I will need to do is compare if OID is equal to uh, if O dot order id. So I need to do that, and if it is so, then I'll have to return, I have to sys out. Since it's a void method I cannot return anything, so I'll have to sys out O id dot, I'm sorry, I'll have to return O dot order details, or I think there is get order details for that. Yes, so let's just run this now. First I'll have to create a order for that purpose. Customer, not this time customer, we will have order. Order is equal to new order. Let's place the order as order id as 001. This time it's going to be me, my name, post the And what it's going to require next? What is it requiring next? Needs needs an OID, right? Order date, order details, OD, ODT, and CID. Order date it needs. Okay. Order date it's going to be today's date 36 30/06 and 2024, and order details is going to be like pizza. Same is the case with the new one. What happened? Okay, one. This one is going to be change constructor int string. We have two integers. Okay, so we have another integer. We do not need a name over here, so the name does not exist. That's the reason it was throwing an error. So we have this particular object created. Let's create another object. This time it's going to be O2, and this time it's going to be about Sam. Order number is 2, ID is also 2, and he's going to order burger. So if I now run this thing as place order, so OT dot place order, not OT, O1. Okay, first we'll have to create an object for that, right? Order placement, order placement, order placement P1 is equal to new order placement. I hope you guys are following up with me, because this is a really complicated problem and you need to have patience for this. So you have P1 dot add dot place orders. So I'm going to have a place order. I'm going to place O1 and O2 as orders. P2 dot place order. Sorry, P1 only. Which is going to be O2. Actually, I've created so many objects over here that it's really confusing for me also sometimes. But nonetheless, these are the sort of problems I go through all the you know every day actually. So again, P1 dot uh, find, P1 dot find. We have the find, right? Find order by ID. So here I'll have to enter the order ID. So let's presume I want to find the order ID as 0002. Okay, and let's just see if it prints the result, if it finds the order for me and prints it. So as you can see, it has printed the result over here as burger. So because 002 order was over here, as you can see, and with respect to this 002 order value, customer order I mean customer order number, as you can see. So with respect to this particular order ID, which is 002002, it has been able to find the burger. Okay, so that's what it found out with the help of this find order. Okay, the next method what we do have is, let me see, add a specific method to a list of all orders for a specific customer. Add a method to list all orders for a specific customer. Okay, which means we will have to sort it as per the customer ID this time. Okay, that's fine with me. It's going to be similar to this. So find customer ID this time, And for O, this time what we are going to take is CID or CD, whatever it is. We're going to take it as a variable. If CD is equal to O dot, not this time, it's not going to be order ID, it's going to be customer ID, or I can say, well, let's do that. Okay, let's keep it this way only. I think if I do this, I get it. Yes, so customer ID, and then system.out.println get order details. So let's find out if this is also working with us. So we have an error. What is it? If CD, if CD actually is equal to, otherwise it won't be found. So p1 dot customer find customer ID. So this time I'm going to find about 001. So now this time I'm searching for, with respect to the customer's ID, what order the particular customer has placed. Okay, so now if I go and search for this thing, I'll be able to find, let's see. So I have placed an order which is pizza. Okay, so as you can see, now it is being able to find the order as per the customer ID. So what's the feature of this thing? Now if I, for example, if I place a duplicate order, okay, HashSet is not going to accept it. You will see if I place a duplicate order over here like O3, okay, let's place it after this only because it looks odd. So if I place an order like this, which is a duplicate order, completely duplicate order, and if I run this, it's not going to show me double of this particular. Okay, it's with respect to the order, right? Okay, let's not do it over the order because we have the list all function, um, with respect to this one. Okay, so let's try with this one. C3 dot new customer, same data I have placed. Let's just now, okay, the cm1 dot list customer order is already there, list customer function method is already there. Let's just run it. So if I run it, I'll be able to see that again it's showing Samir and Kaustav. The next duplicate Samir is not being shown despite of a new object being created with respect to it. So it is that precise about the data. If you do not want duplicate data to get into your array, to get into your programming, then this is the best way of doing it. So HashSet is the best way of doing it. Okay, so that's what was there with respect to the HashSet. I have shown you ways to tackle situations, simple situations with respect to HashSet, as well as complicated situations like this one. Okay, if you go through this particular tutorial, you will be able to understand about HashSets. And again, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for being having this much patience of watching the entire video. And I will see you on the next video, and please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to this particular channel. Thanks for watching.